But as I told you that one-pointedness must be there when you are healing. The principle for healing is what a person thinks without any doubt whatsoever, one-pointedly, the atmosphere surrounding him rectifies that thought. In healing you get the help from divine powers also. The divine powers which are present in the atmosphere, they enter your body as an instrument, as a media, and work upon the body of the other person where you send them and get the results. Now the sentence I told you, the principle I told you, what a person thinks without any doubt whatsoever, one-pointedly, the atmosphere surrounding him fructifies that thought. Think becomes thought at the last. Now what a person thinks, when you are healing you are thinking only one thing, that the patient be cured, and he should be cured of whatever disease he is suffering from, or whatever mental troubles he is suffering from. Now when you become one with your thought that this should happen at any cost and the patient must be cured under any circumstances, your force is also added to the divine powers. Your determination to heal the patient helps a lot. Secondly, without any doubt, if you doubt anything, the whole thing is spoiled. In psychology they say, whatever your will, if you doubt, then the will become weak. And the will not remain will, but it may become an idea only. So, when you are without any doubt, then it will be a very strong position. I give you one example. Suppose you have gone to somebody's marriage, and there milkshake is prepared, and the milkshake is being distributed to all the people who are coming inside. As soon as they sit, the boy comes there and offers the milkshake. The man sitting next to you will tell you, don't take it. You will ask him why? Something has happened inside. In the kitchen, while they are preparing the milkshake, the boy who was preparing it has by mistake put some poison in it. And a few drops have gone in. They have got the milk examined in the laboratory, and the report has come that it is not at all harmful, because the poison added has diluted to such an extent that there will be no effect on anybody, and there will be no problem. So if you like, you may consume the milkshake, but I have not taken it. So it should better to be cautious. A few drops added to a few hundreds of liters of milk prepared for the marriage ceremony, maybe hundreds of glasses. You will not like to drink at all. Why? Because you are suspicious. Maybe very, very mild, no effect. But even then you are suspicious. Something may happen. Maybe mild in the sample which was given to the laboratory. Suppose it has remained at some portion, and that portion comes in my glass, and if I consume it, what would happen? And you say, no Baba, I don't want any milkshake. And then you may give an excuse, nahi aaj zara sardi ho gaye, I am having cold, I would not like to cold. If there is a tea or coffee, better. And then you may refuse it. But there may be a person who may boldly say, okay, you are refusing, but I will take it. Nothing is going to happen to me. Nothing will happen to me even though poison is there. Then what would happen? Perhaps there may not be any effect on him. And there may be several other people also may with courage consume that milkshake. So without any doubt is very important. And when you are healing, you should not have any doubt in the powers which are working. You should not have any doubt in the procedure you are performing. You should not have any doubt in the action which you are taking. You should not have any doubt on the results that will be coming. And you should also prepare the patient in such a way that all his doubts about curing a disease should go away. You may give some examples how you have cured others. And then he will get courage. He will feel that I will be cured. He will have full faith in your healing, and he will accept the healing with full form. One-pointedly means you have to be totally concentrated on what you are doing, performance of your healing. You should not have any other thoughts during the procedure when you are following the program. And if you are thinking of something else here and there, then the whole procedure may become very weak. So one-pointedly should be totally one-pointed. Suppose you have gone in a theater, you are seeing a picture. At the end of the picture, I ask you, who was sitting on the right side of yours? You will say, I don't know. Who was sitting on the left side of yours? I don't know. Who was sitting in front of you? You say, I don't know. On the back? I don't know. What advertisements were there? You may name one or two, but you don't remember all the advertisements which are there in the interval. Maybe 15, 20 advertisements, but you have not remembered anything because you have gone to see the picture. And when the picture is there, you are totally one-pointed. When you see a TV program, what happens? Serials on the TV. You are totally absorbed in the program in such a way that you are only listening to the dialogue which are going on and the faces of the people who are making the show. You forget everything else. If the same type of one-pointedness is brought in the performance of healing, it will work wonderfully well. Then the fourth is atmosphere. Atmosphere surrounding you is always eager to help you out. And it wants to do your work. Because the divine forces which are present in the atmosphere, when you tap them, requested them to come to you, enter your body, and then go to the body of the patient who is suffering, it works. They go with a message. Because the divine forces are always without any message. They are blank. Whatever message you give them, they will work accordingly. They obey your orders perfectly well. As I gave you the example, that if you give a wrong message or a imperfect message, the result will also be imperfect and wrong. So you have to be very, very perfect when you give a message to the divine forces. The atmosphere surrounding you will fructify that thought. Means that will give results not to you, but to the patient. The patient who is suffering from the disease will get cured and he will be free from the disease slowly and slowly, gradually and gradually. You may ask a question, in how many sittings a person can be cured? Nobody can say. It all depends on the capacity of the healer and the capacity of the patient to receive the divine healing forces. The patient should also be totally one-pointed, without any doubt, and absorbed totally into the performance of healing. If it doesn't pay any attention, if it doesn't receive the message properly, if it doesn't receive the divine powers properly, the effect will be less. But when both are one, the healer and the patient, and they both are perfectly one-pointed with each other, like a clip catching the papers, they don't drop out. Here also the message will be caught and nothing will drop out, and the real effect will start coming on the patient. Many times I have seen that patients are cured in 1 or 2 sittings. Last time I told you about a case in Ahmedabad. The lady who was suffering from paralysis. and she was cured only in one sitting. I don't know how. It's all wonder. Another case of a person who was suffering from unconscious conditions. He would become unconscious every now and then. He was cured in one sitting only, a boy. So sometimes the result may be that in 1 or 2 or 3 sittings. Generally it is 6 sittings, but sometimes it may require more. In one case we have seen an old person who was suffering from asthma for nearly 22 years was cured within about 8 or 9 sittings. But another young man who was suffering from asthma only for last 6 months, he could not be cured even after 6 months. He did not find any results. But still he had faith and he continued the program by coming to our center every week. And then afterwards, we went on training him as to how to be one-pointed, how to get absorbed, and how to heal himself, and started absent healing also from home by taking his photograph, and everything worked very well. And he was cured within next 2.5 months. Now what? You require several conditions to become a perfect healer. First is your total devotion to the patient and the work of healing. You should not be doubtful, that is one thing, and you should be totally devoted to the work of healing and the divine powers. Second, you should accept every patient when he comes to you, irrespective of his condition. May be educated, may not be educated, may be ugly, may be beautiful, may be old, may be young, may be a man, may be a woman, may be anything. Whether you like him or dislike him, every patient must be accepted as a child of God. That's why we say that look at Shiva in every Jiva. Look at every soul or spirit as God and start healing them. So first thing is total devotion to the work of healing. You should not have any doubt about your work, and you should make yourself stronger and stronger day by day by healing more and more patients, more and more patients. Once you get accustomed with the healing forces, they will be available to at any time of the day whenever you want them, and will start working in no time, a few seconds here or there. Secondly, you must have total faith in what you are working. You should never feel that whether the person will be cured or not. Never doubt that way. Always feel that the person will be cured and must be cured. I will do everything that is necessary to be done for this patient, and I will see that he is cured. There should be no doubt about it. And when that faith is there, that faith works wonders. Secondly, you should also create the faith in the heart of the patient. His brain and logic should not work against the healing forces. He must feel that he will be cured and will be cured completely, and as fast as possible, as early as possible. So you should give examples as to how you have cured others, how difficult cases are cured by you, and how you can help him, and in what way he will be cured, and it will not take much time to cure him completely. And it works. Thirdly, your performance should be regular. Sometimes you do it, sometimes you don't do it. No punctuality is there. It should be punctual, regular, and perfect. If the same timings are fixed for the patient every time, well and good. If the timings are changing, then there will be difficulty.